Okay, I wonder who is here and if I'm live yet. I'm just double checking to see if I'm live as yet. And it looks like I am. Okay, that's good. I'll just give it a few minutes just to be sure that everything's working on both my LinkedIn as well as my as on my LinkedIn as well as on my Facebook. And I see that there are some people who are already starting to tune in. So if you can hear me and you are watching, please do pop in the comments section where you're from and who you are, if you want to introduce yourselves. And let me just get rid of this so that you can see me. And hello, how nice to see you. Now I'm just going to pop up a little banner so that I can get to know you a little bit if you're watching, because today I'm going to be focusing on how to get a job. And so many people have had their jobs affected because of COVID-19. I'm not going to talk about COVID-19 anymore because many of us are pretty over it. But what I am going to talk about is what are you going to do about it if your job has been affected, because many people have been stood down and they have been made redundant, or they've just simply lost their jobs and don't really know what to do next. So what I'm going to be focusing on is this today: how to get a job, because there are 7 essential steps that you need to take in order to get a job. And I want to talk about the first one today, and then over the next couple of weeks I'll be going through all of the 7 steps as well. Now there's something that I haven't tried before, because I'm using StreamYard for this LinkedIn Live, and I haven't been able to see the comments from LinkedIn, but they've just released a new feature where I can actually see the comments. And so here we go, and that's very nice. So hi Wasim, nice that you're here. And if you've got any questions, please do feel free to ask the questions, because I can see them right away. Okay. So also, if you're watching live, do pop in the comments, where you're watching from. If you're watching the replay, put #replay and type in the comments where you're watching from as well, because I always like to know, and it's lovely to know if you're here or not. Okay. Now, when I'm delivering this live, there are a few seconds delay before I can see, and then I can look on my phone as well to see if there have been any comments. So anytime you've got a question, please let me know. Now what I'm going to do is, because I'm a career management coach, and over the past 19 years I've coached over 8,000 clients, professionals, to find a new job and also find and follow their true passion and direction. Because to be quite honest, you don't want any job, do you? You want a job that's going to make you happy, one that makes you feel fulfilled and is rewarding, and it's interesting, and you're with great people. So just a job might get you some money, but it might not make you really happy, right? And if you're in a role that you love at the moment, then I'm so happy for you. But if you're in between roles, or you're not happy where you are and you want to look for another job, I want to talk about each of those 7 steps. So now here you can see behind me I've got Navigating Career Crossroads. This is my book, Navigating Career Crossroads. It was released 5 years ago, and I've just updated it because over 5 years a lot of things change, and I have released the 2nd edition just 2 weeks ago. And within really 1 to 2 days of it going live, the Kindle version on Amazon Australia got to #1 in job hunting and in the resumes categories, in 2 categories. And I think the reason why is because so many people are looking for a job. So you need to be able to stand out from the crowd, because there's going to be a bit of competition out there. Just in Australia alone, over 600,000 jobs, probably more if I check the stats today, have been affected because of the coronavirus. And of course, there's normal attrition as well, and some companies are restructuring, etc., and there may be redundancies. But if your job is affected, let's focus on what you need to do. So in this book, what I do is I talk about the 7 essential steps to find a job. And I go through an acronym, which is careers, because that's seven letters. And you can see here, there are the 7 steps. And so first of all, what you have to do, these are the 7 things that you must do in order to go through a career transition effectively, is to confidently manage the change that you're experiencing. Because when you've experienced a redundancy, or if you've just lost your job, it's hard to take, isn't it? And it can be quite an emotional roller coaster. Some days you feel like, yeah, I can take control of my career. Other days you feel, oh no, I don't know if I'll ever get another job. Who's going to hire me? You might be thinking, am I too old? Am I too young? Am I too female? Am I too male? There are all sorts of things that go through your head when you're feeling stressed, and you start to think silly things. So first of all, I want you to take a breath and relax and build your self-confidence, and I'll go through more of that in a minute. The next step, step number 2, is to assess what really makes you tick. You need to know what it is that you want in your career, your skills and knowledge, your transferable skills, what the values are that drive you, your true career values, what your tangible accomplishments are, the results that you have achieved in your previous roles that will make you desirable to the next employer. And these are some of the things that I cover in this book. The next step, step number 3, is resumes and your marketing material. Now, of course, you need a powerful resume that stands out from the crowd, that's tailored for specific roles. You need strong cover letters. You need to know what to say in your emails when you're approaching people for networking or for advice and guidance. You need to have a powerful LinkedIn profile as well. And that leads us very nicely to step number 4, which is express your personal brand. This is your professional image, your personal brand online and in person. Now, online, of course, it's going to be LinkedIn. And in person, when people meet you, what do they see? Do they see a confident professional, or do they see someone who doubts themselves a little bit? Now, if you're a hiring manager, you want to hire someone who knows what they can do and has confidence in their own ability. So this is important to prepare your personal branding. The next step is explore the job search strategies at work. We need to look at working with recruiters, using online job boards, getting past the applicant tracking system, the ATS, networking, maybe internships. How can you make a direct approach, target marketing to specific companies that you want to work for? There are lots of different job search strategies that you can employ, and I would suggest that you use all of them, but certainly networking is the most effective one. But do you know how to network? So the book covers it as well, and I'll be covering it in future lives. And then you need to relate your value and impress at interviews. Now, do you know how to prepare for interviews before, during, and after? Who knows, right? I don't know if you are well prepared. But if you are well prepared, you give yourself the best possible chance. And I explain how to prepare for interviews as well. And then finally, hopefully the offers start flooding in, and you need strategies for career success. You need to negotiate the salary. Right? Are you brave enough to do that? And also, when you're onboarding, you need to know how to onboard successfully and smoothly so that you can make the best possible impression and get some wins on the board early on in your new role. That'd be fantastic, wouldn't it? Now, if any of these sound interesting to you, do put a few likes, do a little like or pop a comment in the chat box. And let me see, I see that there are some comments already on LinkedIn. Let me see. So we've got a chemical engineer. Hello, Wasim. You've been in Australia for 4 years. You've applied for hundreds of jobs but never got a single interview call. Really? You're doing something wrong. You only have overseas experience in chemical production. Want to know the reason? Yeah, I'd like to know the reason too. It could be the way that you're marketing yourself and the way you're branding yourself on LinkedIn. So that's something that we'll need to delve into in greater detail. And then another one is Rajiv, and you're watching, you're here, send you an attendance. I don't give attendance certificates for LinkedIn Lives, but thank you for asking. And hello to Tayiba. You're a Sydney business analyst, luckily still have job, need advice on how to go level up from the current role. Aha, so how to get a job promotion. Actually, I've got something for you that you might find very useful. Let me just pop it in a banner here so that you can see it. Is if you want to attract job opportunities and also potential promotions, I have something here that if you go here, it's free. It's a free masterclass. Okay, hang on. Let me just type it in here. 3 secrets. Okay, there you go. I'll just add this banner. Here we go. If you go there, then I have a 40-minute free masterclass that you can watch. And it takes you through the top 3 things you must consider first when you're building your personal brand. Because when you've got a strong personal brand internally, if you're already working somewhere and you want a promotion, or a strong personal brand externally as well, so that the right audience is attracted to your profile, then you'll have a greater chance of success. So you can go and sign up for the free masterclass there if you wish. Now today, what I'm doing, hang on, let me just see if there are any more comments as well. Today, what I'm doing is I want to talk about the first step of navigating your career crossroads, and that is to build your self-confidence. And I just want to read something to you here that is in my book. Okay, so the risk of a crisis of confidence. Now, you might be thinking that this emotional stuff is not what you want to deal with right now. Okay. And you might just say, look, tell me which direction to take. Show me how to write a great cover letter, tweak my resume. I just want my next job. I know that's what you're thinking. But in your impatience to start earning another income, what we don't realize is that the shock of losing our last job or difficult circumstances in your current one can actually hinder you from finding your next position. After all, a job loss, especially an unexpected one, causes us to question everything, whether our abilities were a poor match for the position or our role was made redundant by a restructure. We are left wondering this: am I really cut out for this career? And so when you start to doubt yourself, your confidence level is not good, is it? Right? If your confidence level is not high, when you walk in for an interview and you shake someone's hand, you're not going to be your very best self. It's so important to believe in yourself, to know who you are, manage your stress levels, so that when you walk in the room, people see the real confident you. Okay. Now I want to share, this is one of my clients, and I document this in my book. There's so much that is in my head, or has been in my head for so many years when coaching, that I put into this book, Navigating Career Crossroads. So listen to this. Now, what my client said was, while I expected the retrenchment, in many ways looked forward to leaving my company, it was still a very significant change in my life, and one for which I was entirely unprepared. Suddenly, I had no clear plan or identity. For any of you who've gone through a redundancy, did you feel that? No clear plan or no identity all of a sudden? My networks outside of this business were weak, and I had no real idea of what I wanted to do next. I went at speed from being an important person to an unemployed person. I lost the things that I thought defined me: the status, the car, the income, and like many people, I was wandering in the mist a bit. Now, I wonder how many of you, if you're going through a redundancy at the moment, or you've lost your job, or you're thinking, oh, will I ever get another job? Did you feel like that too? Do you feel like you're wandering in the mist thinking, what am I supposed to do? Or you're making application after application, nothing's happening, and you think, well, why isn't it working? Now, if you keep doing the same thing, you'll probably get the same result. So you need to analyze, at what point in the job search are you stumbling? Is it right at the beginning? If when you submit an application, nothing is happening, then obviously there's something wrong with the application. Is it the cover letter? Is it the resume? Is it your approach? Are you doing anything extra in order to get noticed, right? Or if you do get a call back from your resume, that means the resume is doing well, but if you talk to someone on the phone and then after that you don't get asked in for a face-to-face interview, what are you saying on the phone that is not good enough to make someone want to meet you face-to-face? So you might need to adapt your vocabulary or your positioning statement on the phone. What's your phone manner like? Now, if you get called in for a face-to-face interview, then that means resume is fine, phone manner, I can talk about myself reasonably well over the phone. But then what about the face-to-face? When they meet you, if you have a face-to-face interview and every time you never get past that first interview, then what's going on with you face-to-face? Is it the way you're dressed? Is it the way you express yourself? Do you appear nervous? Do you have the credentials? Okay, are you well prepared for interviews? So you see, each step of the way, you need to analyze what's going right, what's going wrong. You need to really think about that. Okay. Now, if you've got any questions, do pop them in the chat box. Okay. Tayiba, thanks a lot. Really appreciate it. You're very welcome. All right. Now, when it comes to building your self-confidence, there are a few things that you need to do. First of all, you need to assess your stress levels, because if you don't assess your stress levels, then how do you know what needs to be taken care of? Because when you're feeling stressed, what happens is that there are behavioral, mental, and emotional signs and symptoms of stress. Now, if you are feeling stressed, things like, if you're starting to get headaches or neck aches or backaches, that could be a physical sign and symptom of stress. If you suddenly don't want to do the things that you used to enjoy doing, that could be a sign of stress, because previously enjoyable activities just don't inspire you anymore when you're really feeling very, very stressed. And so there's a lot that you can cover. In the book, I have a stress and life events survey that you can take so that you can assess if you really are having a major problem with regard to your confidence levels. And then I go through a number of steps that you can take in order to manage your stress. So one is you need to talk to someone. That's the important thing. Don't bottle it up, because if you do bottle it up, then everything seems magnified and so much worse, doesn't it? So talk to a trusted friend, someone who's a positive person who can give you a good reality check. It doesn't have to be, a coach like me, although I'm pretty good at it. But if you've got a good friend who is really a sympathetic ear with practical advice that's good, talk to them. You will feel better. Don't talk to the negative people, though. All right, talk to the ones who are going to be helpful. And if they're well connected, that's even better. The second thing is you need to think. Think positively, because your thoughts have a huge impact on the way that you act as well. All right. So affirmations are a good thing. I've got some affirmations here. Let me just read two of them out to you. And you can start to think, if you repeat these over and over each morning to yourself, you'll start the day on a very good note. Yes. So if you say to yourself, I have it within me to solve any challenges that occur today. Now, we all have the resources within us to solve any issues that you may be encountering. You just perhaps you haven't tapped into it yet. So believe in yourself. Another one is, I'm patient and calm and looking forward to today. So if you know that you're patient and you're calm and you're going to take things step by step, and you repeat that over and over to yourself, you start the day on a very positive note. All right. So affirmations really help. Sweat. That's another thing I want you to do. Exercise. Work up a sweat. Get your heart rate up enough so that you're out of breath. You're working up a sweat. Sustain it for about 20 minutes. Now, if you need to, then go with the doctor and get your exercise plan cleared by the doctor first. But if you're pretty fit and healthy and you're okay to go for a nice power walk for 20 minutes so that you can get your heart rate up, it will make you feel better. Physiologically, you will definitely feel so much better. Now, the fourth thing that helps you to minimize stress is to organize. Organize your work environment. If you work in a messy environment, you'll have lots of messy thoughts as well. So get yourself organized. You're going to feel better. Do a Marie Kondo, just put things in order and tick off all the things that need to get done, and then have a beautiful work environment that's nice and tidy so you can focus on one step at a time. And finally, the last one is to act. Sometimes you have to fake your happiness and relaxed ability, until you believe it yourself. So please act happy. You know what you can do? You can smile, all right? Because when you smile, it takes fewer muscles than it does to frown, because when you're frowning, there are so many muscles in play. But if you smile, it's very hard to continue to be miserable when you are smiling. Okay, smiling and nodding, having positive body language helps you to really lift your mood quite a bit. So these are just a few very easy little tips that I'm going to start off with. I go in greater detail in Navigating Career Crossroads. If you're interested in the book at all, you'll be able to find it on my website at Jane Jackson Coach as well. And then I'm just thinking, what else would be helpful for you? Okay, let's see. let me just type this. If you want a little bit more support, you can go to thecareersacademy.online, because I've got a lot of good free stuff in the careersacademy.online as well. Okay, it is a membership site, but you don't need to join, because there's plenty of free stuff that you can download that will already get you moving forward, such as I have a How to Get a Job podcast course that you can listen to, and it takes you through the 7 steps as well, and so you can get it via the Careers Academy. So I hope that that's been a little bit helpful for you. If you've got any questions, even if you're watching the replay, then just pop them in the chat box, and I hope that that will be helpful. Tayyiba, what do you say? You think communicating with others is also helpful to reduce stress? Yes, it is. You've got to talk to other people as well, because, sometimes we think so much to ourselves that we go round and round in circles, and a small problem becomes a really big problem in our head. Whereas if you talk to someone else, they can be a lot more objective for you, and that way you're not going to have catastrophic thinking. So share your problems. A problem shared is a problem halved, isn't it? So I hope that you're doing that, Tayyiba, as well, and that your stress levels are not too high, because everyone has been feeling a considerable amount of concern because of the coronavirus, but now restrictions are gradually being lifted. I'm in Sydney in Australia, and restrictions are being lifted quite positively, which is good. I'm not sure where you are watching from and how things are where you are. In fact, do let me know if you want to. And if you're watching the replay, just ask me any questions. I'll be checking every couple of days, just because sometimes people watch the replay over again over a few days, and I'll see. But in a few days' time, I'll come back and I will tell you step number 2, which is all about assessing what makes you tick, so that you know what you really want in your career. And then once you know, you can tailor your resume and all of the marketing materials so that it's laser focused for the type of role that you want. All right. So I hope this first step, which is to confidently manage change in your life, has been helpful. And so lovely to see you all, and I'll end the broadcast now. So bye now.